At some point in your life, you've seen it happen. A smart, good-looking, high-potential person ends up completely tangled in a toxic, manipulative relationship. And everyone watching from the outside is thinking the same thing. How did this even happen? Their manipulator might not be rich, nor attractive, and doesn't even seem impressive. And yet, here we are. So let me be honest with you. This isn't luck. This isn't chemistry. And it's definitely not love. Today, I'm not teaching you how to manipulate anyone. I'm showing you the trap, the quiet psychological tactics that make people fall for the wrong person. These tricks aren't dramatic. They're small, easy, almost invisible. But when they're repeated, day after day, they rewire how you think, how you feel, and who you trust. This video is a behind-the-scenes breakdown of what a dark-level manipulator actually looks like and how they pull you into a relationship without money, looks, or status. For your understanding, I'll be speaking as if I'm the manipulator, not to glorify it, but to expose it. Because once you see the mechanism, it can't work on you anymore. Let's begin. If I wanted to get inside your head fast, this is my opening move. I wouldn't ease into things. I wouldn't take it slow. I'd hit you with maximum emotional force right out of the gate. Texts all day. Compliments non-stop. Attention so constant it feels flattering instead of suspicious. I'd tell you things like, "I've never met anyone like you. This feels different." I don't usually open up like this. And here's the trick. I'd mean it just enough for you to believe it. I'd fast forward the connection, talk about the future early, create inside jokes, make you feel chosen. Because once you feel special, you stop being careful. Your brain starts firing dopamine, the same chemical released by gambling, drugs, and social media likes. You don't fall for me. You fall for the way I make you feel about yourself. And then, once you're attached, I change. Not dramatically. Not enough to make you leave. Just enough to confuse you. The texts slow down. The affection becomes inconsistent. Warmth turns into distance. Now you're not enjoying the love anymore. You're chasing it. And that's the goal. Because when affection becomes unpredictable, your brain works harder to get it back. You blame yourself. You try harder. You invest more. Love bombing isn't love. It's emotional inflation, followed by withdrawal. And once that cycle repeats a few times, you're not dating me anymore. You're addicted to the version of me I showed you first. Now that you're emotionally open, it's time for me to make you believe we're meant for each other. This is where mirroring comes in. I don't need my own personality. I'll just borrow yours. Whatever you like, I like. Whatever you hate, I hate. Your values? Suddenly mine too. You're into hiking? Crazy. So am I. You love deep conversations at 2 a.m.? Same. You're passionate about certain beliefs or opinions? Wow, I've always felt that way. And I won't copy you in an obvious way. That would be sloppy. I'll do it subtly. Your tone. Your humor. Your body language. You lean in. I lean in. You speak softly. I lower my voice. You open up. I match your vulnerability, just enough to feel real. Because here's the psychological truth. Your brain is wired to trust people who feel familiar. Similarity feels safe. Similarity feels like destiny. So when you think, "I've never connected with anyone like this before," what you're really feeling is yourself, but reflected back at you. Over time, this destroys skepticism. Red flags don't register because your mind keeps saying, "They get me." And here's the best part for a manipulator like me. I don't actually have to live up to any of it. I don't need money. I don't need looks. I don't need depth. I just need to keep mirroring long enough for you to emotionally bond to the idea of us being the same. By the time you realize I was never really into your hobbies, your dreams, or your values, you're already invested. And walking away now would mean admitting you were wrong. Most people would rather stay than face that. All right, now comes the part where I stop winning your affection and start owning your reality. This tactic is called gaslighting, and it's one of the most destructive tools in the entire playbook. At first, it's almost invisible. I won't scream or I won't explode. I won't look abusive. I'll stay calm, because the goal isn't to scare you. It's to make you doubt yourself. I'll deny things I clearly said, minimize things I clearly did, rewrite events just enough to make you hesitate. You say you promised you'd be there. I respond, I never said that. You must have misunderstood. You bring up something that hurt you. I say, you're being dramatic. Or worse, why do you always make things into a problem? And every time I do this, I'm not trying to win the argument. I'm trying to plant a question in your mind. What if I'm wrong? Because once you start questioning your memory, your emotions, your perception, you start outsourcing reality to me. You stop trusting your instincts. You stop confronting issues. You start asking for reassurance just to feel stable again. And here's why gaslighting works so well. It doesn't break you all at once. It erodes you slowly. No big fights, no dramatic moments, just constant low-level confusion. Over time, your confidence drops. Your self-trust disappears. And I become the calm, rational voice you rely on to tell you what's real. That's power. Because when you don't trust yourself, you cling to the person who tells you who you are. Now let me show you two quieter tricks. The kind that don't look toxic at all, but quietly put me above you psychologically. First, emotional composure. No matter what's happening, I stay calm. You're upset? I'm relaxed. You're stressed? I'm collected. You raise your voice? I lower mine. On the surface, this looks mature, grounded, stable. But here's the manipulation. By staying unnaturally calm, I frame your emotions as the problem. You're not reacting to something real. You're overreacting. I'll say things like, let's be logical. Or, you're letting your emotions control you. And because I never lose my cool, I look like the reasonable one. Even when I'm the cause of the issue. Eventually, you start editing yourself, softening your feelings, second-guessing whether you're allowed to be upset at all. You associate me with stability, and yourself with chaos. That contrast builds attraction and submission. Now, the second trick, eliciting information without asking. I don't interrogate you. That would raise alarms. Instead, I guide you into telling me everything. I'll share something vulnerable first. Something just personal enough to trigger reciprocity. I used to feel like I wasn't enough in relationships. I've been hurt before. It messed with my trust. Then I pause. And you feel the silence. You open up. Your fears, your insecurities, your past wounds. Not because I asked, but because it feels like connection. And while you're bonding, I'm collecting data. What hurts you? What you fear losing? What makes you feel chosen? Later, I'll use that information to control you. By withholding validation, pressing on insecurities, or positioning myself as the solution to the pain I quietly trigger. You feel understood. I feel informed. And in manipulation, information is leverage. Now that I've got you emotionally invested, uncertain of yourself, and opening up to me freely, it's time to lock things in. I don't just need you on my side. I need your environment on my side too. So I go after your friends. This is called social proof manipulation. When I meet them, I'm charming. helpful, attentive. I remember names. I laugh at the right jokes. I compliment them in ways that feel genuine, because I already know what they care about. If someone needs help, I'm there. If there's an awkward moment, I smooth it over. Soon enough, your friends start saying things like, "He's actually really nice. I like him. You seem happier with him." And now, something powerful happens. Even if you feel doubt, even if something feels off, you hesitate. Because if everyone else approves of me, then the problem must be you. Social pressure replaces your intuition. Your friends become my defense system, without even realizing it. Leaving me now wouldn't just mean losing the relationship. It would mean explaining yourself, justifying yourself, going against the group. Most people won't do that. And finally, the glue that keeps everything together, intermittent reinforcement. I don't treat you badly all the time. That would be too obvious. Instead, I keep you guessing. One day I'm distant, cold, unavailable. The next day, affection, attention, just enough warmth to give you hope. It's emotional roulette. And your brain hates uncertainty. You replay conversations, analyze messages, try harder to get back to the good version of me. Because when rewards are unpredictable, the brain becomes obsessed with earning them. That's not love. That's conditioning. And once this cycle repeats enough times, you're not staying because you're happy. You're staying because you're hooked. Closing. Here's the truth. None of these tactics are dramatic. That's why they work. They're ordinary behaviors, used deliberately, repeatedly, and without empathy. And yes, even someone unattractive and limited means can pull this off. Because manipulation doesn't rely on looks or money. It relies on psychology. The defense is awareness. If something feels intense too fast, if you feel confused more than secure, if you're constantly questioning yourself, that's not love. That's a trap. And now that you can see it, it loses its power. Stay sharp.